Here we are. I am Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
And we are here reviewing Sonic number 3 at the AMC Theater in Winterfield, North Carolina. What do you think about that, Mrs. B?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's funny. The trailer was funny. We can't wait to see the movie. Good actors, talented. Come
Jim
on out
Carrey.
and see it.
That's right. And what's our website, Mrs. B?
DrB and MrsB, EmptyNestersLifestyle.com. Join us. Visit us at the website.
There you go. Let's do this. We are back. This is Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
Dr. B and Mrs. B movie reviews are back for season number 4. Season number 4. What do you think about that, Mrs. B?
Well, we've got quite a bit of experience under our belt, and we just ask you to join us and have fun.
And the fun that we're going to have kicking off season 4. And we actually started this in 2021, Mrs. B.
Yes, in 2021.
In 2021, during COVID.
During COVID.
We were jamming doing these movie reviews during COVID. And you can check out our previous movie reviews,
Please
season
do.
1 through 3, starting in COVID. Can you believe that?
Starting during COVID. Everyone got creative. We found our own creativity and our creative content.
There you go.
And we decided to go right into the future with it.
We went for it.
And have fun for it.
We went for it. And again, starting back in 2021, and please check out season 1, 2, and 3. And to kick off season 4, we are reviewing, if you could see, Sonic the Hedgehog number 3. This is 1 and 2, but we're going to review Sonic 3, of which we saw at the movie theater several weeks ago. And we're going to give a review of that in just a second. What do you think about that? Just kicking off with Sonic 3.
I think we caught the viewers by surprise.
I'm sure.
What are you doing kicking off 2025 with Sonic 3?
Yeah.
Hedgehog 1, Sonic 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
was fun. And you're going to learn a little bit about the backstory about that in just a moment.
Exactly. I'm going to give you the backstory. I'm going to give you the plot line. And before I get there, it's such a delight to start off 2025. But I want to remind folks that, we've been doing a few things, not just movie reviews, but we also started our website, Mrs. B, Dr. B and Mrs.
Yes.
B, EmptyNestersLifestyle.com. What do you think
Yes.
about that?
Oh, it's wonderful. We have been full steam ahead. Website,
There you go. And we also...
Mrs. B, and on Squarespace.
On Squarespace.
Thank you, Squarespace.
And then we started our own Dr. B and Mrs. B Empty Nester Lifestyle podcast show.
Podcast shows. Wow.
Thank you, Apple Podcasts, and thank you, Podbean, for hosting our podcast shows.
Yes, and Player FM.
Player FM, all the platforms
For
out there.
2025, one of the best pick shows.
Yeah, we are. We're
Podcast.
fortunate
Thank
to be
you.
at the top 5
And YouTube,
of
thank
podcast show. And we kicked it off at the end of 2024. So those are a few of the things that Mrs. B and I really like doing. And you may see us in the neighborhood somewhere locally.
You will see us in the neighborhood.
You'll see us around. So there you go. That's a little backstory and a little setup with what we're doing, activities. But let's get into Sonic 3. And let me, Mrs. B, one of the reasons why I decided to do Sonic 3 is because our youngest child is a Sonic fan.
Sonic, watch your film, played the games. Sonic 3,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad caught on a little bit later.
We caught on late. But it's cool.
Sonic 1, and even the statue, the coin base, was it a bank? Sonic
Oh yeah,
Bank.
we bought that for way back in the day.
And back in the day.
Back in the day.
Sonic Bank, and
Yeah.
then before you know it was the games.
Yeah.
And the youngest adult now, been telling us for the longest about Sonic. And we're like, okay, we get it.
And then when we saw the trailer for it at one of the movies, we said, we gotta see this movie.
We gotta see it.
So here we go. There's the backstory. Well, here's the plot line. I'm going to give you the plot lines of each and every movie. I'm going to start out with Sonic number 3 so you can get an idea of the plot line. And then I'm going to give you Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 because it's so important. I'm just going to say this, Ms. B. So important to get the backstory of the sequels.
Yes. Well, that's true.
Yeah, the backstory. So let me give you a plot line for Sonic 3, the Hedgehog. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow. A mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched, teams so nice must speak out, and unlike get a new alliance. And starring in the Sonic 3 movie is this is my bias, one of my favorite comedic actors, Mr. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Comedic genius. Started really got his break in Living Color, Mr. B, back in the 80s.
In Living Color.
And he made so many movies. There you go. Hey, in Living Color. There you go. And Jim Carrey got to start there. The voice of Sonic is Ben Schwartz. The voice of Shadow, Keanu Reeves. And yeah, the voice of Knuckles, Idris Elba. Idris Elba. Yes. A renowned actor, English actor.
Very renowned.
And also Tails, the voice of Tails, Colleen O'Shaughnessy. And then the actor, let me just say, the actor James Marsden and Tika Sumpter are the couple that raises Sonic. What do you think about the couple, Mrs. B?
That is so funny that they didn't think that it was so unusual life to raise Sonic.
He came on board, he just blended in.
Yeah. And then again with AI, it's just obviously it's a blend.
Yeah, you bring it up. The AI with
Avatar, Second Life AI.
You bring up a great point. How they brought Sonic into the live action. What did you initially think about when you saw that? Yeah,
it was seamless because at first you're like, okay, that's an animation hedgehog.
Yeah, animation.
Before you know it, the hedgehog was your friend. Before you know it, the hedgehog was a part of the family.
Yeah.
Before you know it, the hedgehog lived with the family.
Yeah.
And before you know it, the hedgehog was, exhibited signs of humanity.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
He was so
And they
cool.
played to that. They played to that character, and they played to that character as if that character was human-like. And in AI, that makes sense because people are talking back and forth.
And like a little kid. And like a little kid.
The wonders.
And that's what I truly appreciated about the couple with the James Marsden and Tika Sumpter. They played like Sonic was their little kid and raising a little kid. Just happened to be an animated Sonic Hedgehog.
I know.
It was seamless. And then let me just add.
Remember that by the end.
You gotta remember that, yeah. And then the other actors, Lee Majdu, I apologize. He was one of the villains. Yeah, he was a great villain.
Good. I mean, you'd say the character really good.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was like, "You're so amazing."
He was serious sidekick to Jim Carrey.
Serious sidekick.
What an actor.
Loyal to the T. I'm like, wow, really?
And then a couple of other actors real quickly. Natasha Rothwell as Rachel, the sister of Maddie. And then my boy.
And Hedgehog too. That was really
And then I had to tell you, my boy, Shamar Moore. Randall was Natasha's or Rachel's husband. My boy Shamar came from. He got his props on and his start on Young and the Restless.
Wow.
Young and the Restless.
I
had to throw that out. That's my boy Shamar. Shamar started from way back. And then he did a little Soul Train and so forth. And now he stars in a CBS series, SWAT.
And did Criminal Minds.
And Criminal Minds. Oh, yes. But he's a serious brother. He just brought his comedic skills. And let me just say, brought his comedic skills to this movie, Mrs. B. So I had to do a little shout out to Shamar Moore on that one.
And what did you say that when he got into the movie, he didn't say his tag? Let's wait if he's gonna say it.
I was waiting, and he didn't say, "Baby girl."
No, you better not say "baby girl" at the wedding.
I know he didn't say that.
Don't put it in there.
So that's true. So let's get to that's the plot. But and let me give you quickly the plot of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, how they got to this plot of Sonic 3. Sonic 1 started off, as the description says, taking refuge on Earth when Sonic uses his incredible speed and accidentally knocks out the power in part of the United States. He catches the attention of Dr. Robotnik and must stop him from using his unique powerful world domain. So Dr. Robotnik, was it Robotnik? Yeah. Robotnik. That's Jim Carrey, by the way. And let me just say, as soon as Jim Carrey came on the scene in the first one, he was downplayed. He was his comedic genius self.
Yes. And they allowed that freedom.
He had so much freedom.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a definite contribution in scripting.
Thank you.
What he was playing.
He obviously had to. Yeah.
And the scenes were really funny. They were hilarious, and the way he played off of the scenes, where he played off the graphics, the media, the content,
and in the
the creative animation content.
Yes.
That was spectacular.
And in number one, he got more maniacal.
Yeah, he got more
at each stage in number one. And then in number two, here's a plot line for number two. When Dr. Robotnik, that's Jim Carrey, returns with a new partner, Knuckles, in search of an emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations, Sonic teams up with his old sidekick, Tails, on a journey across the world to find the emerald first. And that was a fascinating movie.
That was fascinating. It was funny. It was, all animation should be. So many people worked on that film.
Yeah.
So many people from different countries. So many people.
Oh yeah, they went around the world.
Anime.
Yeah, they went around the world.
Japan anime.
Yeah.
As well, U.S. Graphic design.
Oh.
Content creators.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, you guys are wonderful.
Yeah.
Hats off to you. So
very much so. Very much so.
Because the actor is only as good as the writing, as their own genius that they are, but also as good as the creative content, the animation, and the artistic value, the artistic drawings, and the creative energy in it.
There you go. Yeah. And I'm stuck on Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik. Okay. And in number two, his mustache got bigger. He looked even wilder, and he was just going. And again, the freedom that they gave Jim Carrey.
That's interesting.
Recreate his character.
Well, to take the character and then you're already in the anime, right? You already have the cartoon and animation and the graphic and the design and graphic novel of it. And then you take the flip side of it, you take the human character and make the human character even more wilder. And caricature and villain-like. And
it was funny. Over the top.
It was a play back and forth on that theme. And that was funny.
And so he got larger and more maniacal in number two. And then now number three, Sonic Hedgehog number 3, there was just not one Dr. Robotnik, there were two. His father.
His father. I was gonna say
Jim Carrey played 2 roles in Sonic 3. Wow. 2 over the top. 2.
But when you have comedic actors and actors of their craft like that, it's not unusual for that actor to play that many roles because they have that much creative energy, that much talent to play those roles.
This is what he did in the movie. He did the robot several times. Thank you. There you go, Mrs. B. And then again, Sonic teamed up with Mrs. B. You look great.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mrs. B.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Mrs.
Well, that's
B.
good.
Oh, I love your design.
Oh, thank you. A little nod to the anime and my kids are kids who are those that grew up with anime and American and Japan anime as well as European anime, and so hats off to the animation and the content creators.
Very much so. We've been doing this, the anime, in our home for so many years.
With the books.
And then it was nice to see how it got played out in this movie.
Yes.
That's the fascinating aspect.
To see that all happen.
Yeah.
And to see that scripted, and to see that treatment of script played out in just fantastic storyline.
And here's another thing. Thank you for the storyline. The storyline on each and every one of the Sonic movies was so genuine, and yet believable. It started out sincere, and they mentioned they actually live in Green Hills, Montana, and they wanted to go to San Francisco. Yeah, Green Hills, Montana, of all places. And then number 2, they were reestablishing themselves even more so in Green Hills. And then number 3, oh my gosh, it just went off the rails and everything. And they actually brought in other, like they said, other characters into the plot line. Yet the sincerity of the family of the key actors and actresses
they played off each other pretty
there.
good.
Yeah,
the actors played off each other really well, and so that's refreshing because sometimes you don't want the acting to be a struggle.
Yeah,
the actors to struggle with each other to act.
It was seamless,
and that's good.
It was
whatever goes on behind the scenes. When
you don't know.
The camera was ready to roll, they put it. But you could tell if that's genuine or just forced.
Yeah,
you can tell whether it's genuine, forced, or contrived.
Yeah,
and this was like I said in the beginning.
Yeah, and then let me just say a little tidbit. I didn't know how Keanu Reeves as Shadow was going to come in the plot line, but he was actually, now check this out. In number 1, they did a snippet of him in the movie Speed. The couple was watching the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves in number 1, and then later on, Keanu Reeves shows up as Shadow in number 3. So wow, the chemistry and the connection that the producers and the directors really tied in new characters, but the plot line continued to grow. And a little spoiler alert, I was told that Shadow is going to have his own movie as a growth from Sonic 3.
But then, as we get into it just a little bit later at the end, if you stay all the way to the end of the credits.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what the youngest MB, the youngest told us. Stay to the end, and you'll see a snippet or cameo that is telling, and we think so, of the next movie.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, what's that about? So, that's the hook.
Yeah, that's a hook. You have to stay through to the entire movie and just sit there and enjoy all the credits, and they'll give you some insight. And again, it was a joy just to get through, just to be a part of that movie at the movie theater, AMC. We got to give props to AMC Theater.
Yes, American Movie Theaters. You have to give credit and kudos to you. Thank you very much. The audience was very respectful, and they had a good time. And just watch watching the whole film, and it was exciting.
Yeah, and in the movie theater, people were laughing. I was laughing. Matter of fact, there was nothing but families, and you could tell it was generational too. Let me just say, because cross-generational, which was really fun. Because I know I was laughing at majority of the Jim Carrey shtick, and then you had the Sonic Hedgehogs comedy. Then you had the couples comedy. So it made it, to me, generational.
It was.
Intergenerational.
And they got the joke.
Yeah.
People got the joke.
Yeah.
Many times, some people get in and it goes flat, because you can hear the audience goes flat. Well, I didn't get that. It kind of went over my head. But in each scene, everyone got the joke. And that's hard to do when you write that.
Yeah, and it is.
You act that. So that was good.
And the acting. Now, let me just say this one other part, Mrs. B. When Jim Carrey improvised, he wanted to bring in one scene from another movie. And remember in the one scene, the crossover, where Jim Carrey is running away from the dinosaur of Indiana Jones. Remember that movie?
Was funny.
He was like running away.
We both thought that was very funny, and we can relate to that.
Because
in the field of archaeology and anthropology,
exactly.
and he's running, and when their kids were younger, we were at Cedar Point, and we
did that.
And there was the dinosaur eggs, and they were going up and down. And they were older though, because we took a tour of visiting families, and they were running. They started running away. We took this shot, and they were running away from the dinosaur.
Running away from the big dinosaur as it's coming from the woods and everything to attack us and eat us up.
And he's like pushing his head back and forth, like his head is gone, but he's trying to find it. And that was hilarious. That was too fun.
That was fun. Again, just the fun time to have at the movie, to relax, enjoy. It was much family friendly.
Family fun, good rating.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about trying to explain something
to
your kids. They get it, or not wanting to explain something to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. And so it crossed all lines.
It did.
And
it really
got
did.
it.
Yeah. And just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride and relax and let your guard down and laugh at the most silliest stuff. It's okay to laugh, even as empty nesters. It's okay to laugh at the most silliest stuff.
We do silly stuff. We have long days sometimes.
Yeah.
We have other things that we're doing.
Very much so.
But even still, through all of that, you get pepped up, you keep going, and you see some of the fun things, the very,
entertaining.
It's just entertaining, creative, energetic,
and how they
talented.
put all that together in a 2.5
and it gives you inspiration.
Yeah, it does. And I just want to say, Mrs. B, thanks for continuing with the movie reviews with me, and I want to give you a nice.
Thank you, Dr. B.
You looking fine. You looking fine, Mrs. B.
I will take that.
There you go.
I'll take that compliment.
Yeah. Again, I just want to make sure that we share our enthusiasm, our joy, our excitement about movies, and particularly Sonic 3 and Sonic 1 and 2, and to kick off season number 4 with movie reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
We are still going to be bringing it all year long, all season long, so please check out movie reviews by Dr. B and Mrs. B, as well as our website and our podcast show. Any last words, Mrs. B?
Enjoy life. Whether your day is long, hours, stressful, whatever it is, take a deep breath, breathe, have fun, and let your creative and expressive energies flow, and just relax, whether it's calm or whether it's energetic or whether it's getting inspired and whether it's prayerful. Stay blessed. Peace to you. Whatever you believe in, keep it good and keep it safe.
Keep it safe, everyone. And all I have to say is, peace out, Mrs. B.
Peace in.